Well, David Begnaud is in Convent, Louisiana. David, you have covered a lot of pretty nasty weather over the past few months. We've seen the kind of damage that happens to homes with basements. I can't imagine what it looks like for when something like that goes through a trailer park.
Well, Anne-Marie, let me put it to you this way. The local sheriff here in St. James Parish told me that Hurricane Katrina is the worst hurricane to hit Louisiana in recent memory, and he believes this may be the worst tornado. Just look at what is behind me. Okay, so you've got these RVs, look at that, just tossed like children's toys. It's almost like sticks. And then you've got these two buildings right here, office-looking buildings that are fine. And then check out this brown RV, right? Sitting up on the slab, looks upright, everything's fine. And then as you move to the right, I mean, the tornado just mowed everything down. And imagine being here. It's 3:30 in the afternoon. Most of these people, we're told, actually worked at nearby companies. They were construction workers. They worked at the chemical plant. And the plants and the companies in the area had closed. So the park was packed with people. They didn't live here full time. They lived here off and on. They might have lived out of state, but they had an RV that they kept here. So around yesterday, 3:30 in the afternoon, it was packed because the job sites closed. So everybody came here. And that's when the tornado rolled through. And I got to tell you, right now they're not allowing us to get to the back of the property. But when you look at it, I mean, I'm telling you, it's hard for you to fathom 350-ton Ford trucks that are just mangled. It looks like somebody took an aluminum can, a Coke can, and just squeezed it together. We're talking about big trucks like that. Other RVs, you can't even recognize them. They're in the tree line now. Okay, we're talking about pieces of RV that are just strewn across the tree line. And by the way, they're still looking for about 6 to 7 people that are unaccounted for. Now, the sheriff says that doesn't mean that they're dead, but what it means is that his office can't locate them. They're not at the local hospital, and family members keep calling saying, my loved one was at that park and I cannot reach them. Now, overnight, Anne-Marie, there were cadaver dogs that were going through the area. They were using them to see if there were people buried underneath the debris. The cadaver dogs did not find anything. But as of now, you still have those 6 to 7 people unaccounted for.
Such a devastating scene. As we saw in your piece, David, the governor telling you this tornado could not have touched down in a more vulnerable area. Where are these people that all of their homes have been destroyed behind you? Where are they now?
Well, most of them are at the hospital. Well, I say most of them. There were 100 RVs in the park, 30 people seriously hurt, 7 critically. A lot of them who were okay actually went to nearby hotels and are staying with friends. But you know what's interesting is that they were talking about the first responders, the real first responders being the people who were in the park, right? So some people who were just sitting outside their RV. The tornado comes through. Can you imagine what it was like to see that? To see these huge RVs tossed like toys. Well, people started running. And as they saw someone trapped, they went and they grabbed them and they started pulling them out. There were 2 deputies, I'm told, that were in the area. The sheriff said, we knew something bad was coming. And the 2 deputies actually saw the tornado rolling into the RV park, and they pulled up and almost immediately started pulling people out. And the term walking wounded is putting it mildly, because the sheriff said some of them had head trauma that was so significant it was graphic and gory to actually see in person. So what's going to happen today? They're going to be back out here with cadaver dogs. They're going to start to try and see if they can clean up. And we're going to try and see if we can talk to some of the people. There are actually people who stayed in some of the RVs. The front portion of the park, it was touched mildly. Okay, there's not a lot of damage in the front portion of the park. It's about midway all the way through the backside that it was just decimated. So, and then you have a couple of subdivisions nearby that were also hurt. So that's going to be the focus today, bringing the cadaver dogs back, just seeing if perhaps there's anyone else who unfortunately may be deceased underneath, or maybe there's a survivor. And I'll end with this. There's a lot of dogs running around here. A lot of stray animals now, and so the man who owns the park actually took about a dozen of them to his home just down the road, and so they're hoping to maybe be able to reunite some of those pets in hopes with some of the owners that may have survived.
Yeah, you know, David, if you didn't tell me that was an RV park behind you, I don't even think I would believe it. It looks like the aftermath of maybe a concert in a field. You can't even tell people's homes were there. David Begnaud, thanks a lot.